Good morning, Uganda. Time for the agenda. And as is every Wednesday, we have conversations regarding the Uganda Cooperative Alliance. But at the center of it all is the cooperative movement. And today we are looking at digital innovation and migration in cooperatives. Now, to have that conversation with me is Derek Kalunda, who is the operations manager at Wakandi, Uganda. And a little later on, we shall be joined by Kiriai Caroline Atai, who is the general manager at Walimu Cooperative Union. 0709602592 is the WhatsApp number that you should engage and be a part of this conversation. Good morning, Derek.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming through.
You're welcome.
Now let's start with a brief introduction of what Wakandi Uganda is.
Okay. Wakandi Uganda is a digital banking system service provider. It's operating currently in about 5 African countries. So we're not just operating in Uganda here, but what we mainly do is to extend digital banking services to Tier 4 institutions.
Right.
And that is the cooperatives, savings and credit organizations that are not so much covered by the Tier 1 and Tier 2 banking systems.
All right.
Yep.
Now, in the context of circles in Uganda, how would you define digital migration?
Digital migration, I will be honest, it has not yet been embraced to the core as we would really be compared to the other countries around the area. But you will see that there's been a significant shift and really significant uptake in the last 10 years. Back in the days, I think recently in 2015, thereabout, you would walk from circle to circle and you would find many of them still paper-based. Right now, I think we've moved almost to about 60% of the institutions now operating digital on a system, and they have thrown away the papers that are not so much reliable, and they are mainly moving digital. So I think we're making really significant progress, and of course with a lot of support from the umbrella organization, the UC, and then the others.
Right. Yep. You've talked about the fact that it's quite slow, not as fast as it ideally should be, should have been. And one would wonder, Uganda is largely populated by the youth. 75% of the population is youth. And the question now that is begged is, who are the people who are actually in these circles? Who are the people in these cooperative movements? Is it the older generation, the senior citizens, or the younger people? Because with the younger people, it's easy to get on board with technology, whilst with the older people, it takes time. So how are you making sure that you're getting the citizens or cooperators tech savvy in regards to innovation and digital migration?
Yeah, some of the underlying factors why we've not picked up as fast as we would want to are mainly factors that are around the environment. And just maybe to circle back to the question that you asked, whether they are mainly composed of the youths or the elderly, it's a blend of both. Right. If you look at the rural areas, the management of these institutions is mainly by the elderly. But if you see the customers or the people that serve with these institutions are also the youth. So it's a sector that has really covered both the youth and then the elderly. But one of the other underlying factors that, the challenges that have, presented themselves in the quest to digitize them all, it's been around the network coverage, because to digitize them would need it needs internet. Yes. They would need to be tech savvy, be able to use computers and be able to use the smartphones at that level to be able to spread that. 10 years ago, you would move to so many institutions and you find that they are operating. It's a circle. They have an office. That's already a step to being organized. They have a management team. They have a secretary. They have a chairman. And when you look in the room, what is missing is a computer. Yeah. So a few organizations came on board, and then we started also, of course, to already start preaching about this. Right. Why does someone need a computer? Why do they need to invest in a computer, first of all, at the start? Because they have papers. If, let's say, fire breaks out, the areas of Bududa out there, they were, being hit by landslides. What happens if all that paper is washed away? With a computer and their data is backed up on a cloud, it's easy to recover all that information. So it was a process of sensitization and also try to educate them on exactly what is required. And many of them right now, you would find at least they have at least one computer for starters. And on the other side, on the service providers end, we saw that challenge, but again, we also had to come in and do something about it.
Right.
I'm happy with the telecoms. They've tried to extend most of their network coverage, so in many areas, at least you would get a signal and you would be able to use the internet.
Right.
For the service providers like ourselves, what we've tried as well to do is to extend this service to go off a computer, to go off a smartphone, so that even those with feature phones, they can still do the banking, they can still deposit their savings, they can still request for a loan. Now again, the telecoms came in because it required us to integrate with mobile money and then the others.
Right.
To be able to extend the service to even someone who is using a feature phone, to still be able to, be digital as well.
Yes, a feature phone is one with buttons.
Yeah, with buttons. It's not a smartphone. Yeah. So right now,
yes.
so many, even the elderly, because you would find that you don't want those phones of, they call it sellers.
Yes.
Yeah. So even with their smartphones, you would find that someone right now can still deposit and withdraw money from their account without necessarily moving there. So it's been an interesting journey. There's quite a lot to write home about.
Yes.
Because I remember, coming from a stage where you just have to convince people that they need a computer to a point where...
But actually, even the view of walking into an office and there's no computer whatsoever. In this day and age, it's hard to imagine, and yet we got to witness it.
Interestingly, now for us, those who are our target population, because walk away from the metropolitan here, go out to Bududa, Luka, in Busoga there, find. I mean, right here in the city center, you can find any bank branch anywhere.
Right.
But again, those people that are marginalized out there, they are served by these circles.
Right.
And then you would find some would have challenges that they don't have electricity.
Yes.
But over the years, you find some have even embraced solar and they're using computers to even do what their business about.
Right.
And I'm glad that, of course, over the years, the president has also taken an initiative and he has invested a lot into these institutions. You hear in the Myoga circle, that has helped to improve them so much, because they still use some of those funds to improve their processes, get the technology that they need, the computers, the laptops, to just facilitate themselves. And for us, as we provide the system, we try to as well educate them. So it's not just about getting them digital, but it's important that one understands, okay, you guys are talking about digital, but what do I need? How do I get, what do I benefit from that? So there is a lot of benefit, not just for the cooperatives, but also for the end customer, the consumer.
Right.
So there's quite a lot in them, because imagine previously one would need to walk, and out there it's quite in a couple of miles. One needs to walk 3 kilometers or 4 to a circle to make a deposit.
In fact, I wanted to ask you to actually just give us an in-depth picture of how you've addressed the digital divide, especially in the underserved areas. You've talked about Bududa. They tend to, face a lot of landslides and natural hazards that come along. How exactly, how practical has it been for you to integrate these innovative ideas, the digital divide, to these people, most of whom are illiterate and definitely have not gone to school to get the experience of computers, but are a part of cooperatives? Yes. Yes.
So for us, the service providers, it's mainly about tailoring our systems to be as easy to use as possible, so that one does not need to have any elementary education to use it.
Right.
You would see that before the smartphones came about, people were using feature phones, but when they were now in the market, one needed no training to use it. Why? Because they put in some time, did a lot of research, and made them so easy to use that any common person can get onto it and start, working with it. So you will find that in the rural areas, most of the institutions are run not so by the professionals. They don't have a professional accountant, they don't have a professional manager, but just someone who is known to the community. They is voted into, managing the institution, and then they get someone, probably they went to high school up to about senior
S4,
4,
yes.
senior 6. So they have the basic skills. So to the service providers, it's mainly about tailoring your product and making it so easy to use that anyone can get on board to it and start to use it seamlessly.
Right.
So that's what we've tried to do much, but also part of the onboarding process involves a training session. So we do train them still even on the basics and also the best accounting practices,
Right.
which helps improve them as well.
Right.
Yep.
You are watching Good Morning Uganda, but as is every Wednesday, we have conversations on the cooperative movement. And today in particular, we are looking at digital innovation and migration in cooperatives. In studio with me is Derek Kalunda, who is the operations manager at Wakandi, Uganda. And right now we've been joined by Kiriai Caroline Atai, who is the general manager of Walimu Cooperative Union. Good morning, Caroline.
Good morning, Jackie.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Briefly
welcome.
tell us about Walimu Cooperative Union.
Thank you so much, Jackie, and all listeners. Walimu Cooperative Union is a secondary cooperative. Secondary in a sense that its members are primary societies. Those are the circles. Walimu Cooperative Union was founded in 2014 by the teacher cooperatives to address the needs of the teachers in that specific category. Currently, we have over 250 members. These are teacher cooperatives that are spread across the country. And Walimu is unique in a way that it is supported by government. I want to thank His Excellency the President for injecting in seed capital for the teacher circles across the country. As we talk today, Walimu is the fund manager for the Teachers Revolving Circle Fund. And initially, we got 25 billion. And the cooperatives benefited, and that's where we are right now.
Right.
Thank you.
One would want to also know how Walimu has been able to benefit or exercise the digital migration within its movement as a cooperative union.
Thank you, Jack, for that question. As Walimu, we have tried to leverage on the existing tech companies. For example, Saconet, New Grid, Ensibuco, and others. But also we have tried to utilize the available IT companies in the country like MTN. So for us as Walimu, we have aggregated, including Wakanda. Our members are using Wakanda. So using those partners, Walimu has been able to come up with a one-stop solution that we call the Walimu Coop Fund app. In that app, we are right now rolling it out. Our teachers are unique. It is the most unique and dynamic sector in education in that our cooperatives are mobile. Today, a teacher is teaching in Mbale High. Transfers come, they go to Kitgum High.
Right.
So therefore, we had to embrace technology, and as a union, we had to give our members what can make them compete in the market by working with other partners.
Right.
Thank you.
You are watching UBC TV. 0709602592 is the WhatsApp number that you should engage. And the name is actually Julie, not Jackie. Yes. Julie Nantaba Musisi is my name. And we are talking digital innovation and migration in cooperatives. To do that, with us is Derek Kalunda, who is the operations manager at Wakandi, Uganda. And Kiriai Caroline Atai is the general manager at Walimu Cooperative Union. Send in your questions or your opinions as we enjoy this conversation. Now, to engage some of that, good morning, Julie. Good morning, Uganda. It's Isaac Wanzala Aizo in West Nile. And in such cooperatives, do they offer training and orientation programs? This question would go to you, Derek.
All right. At Wakandi, we do offer this training. I think the onboarding process, first of all, involves this, and I will just briefly take you through this. It starts with an assessment. Right. We visit a cooperative, try to assess the situation on ground. What do they have? How many staff do they have? How are they operating? Are they paper-based? Are they using Excel? Do the staff have any background of any digital solution, any IT solution. And after doing that assessment, we start to conduct the onboarding, and that starts with the training. Now, the training does not only involve or rotate around the IT platform, but we also do the basic accounting knowledge, because you will find, like I mentioned earlier, that most of these institutions are not run by professionals.
Right.
So one needs to know how to debit, how to credit, what does it mean, what effect does it have on their books. So we still do a whole week, a minimum. Sometimes we go up to a month, still doing that initial training, but not just about the tech solution, but also on the best practice, the best practices of running such an institution, how to balance their books, how to do that business, and how to, let's say, how do you write off a loan? Some don't even know that, but they find themselves in institutions, and they need to serve.
True.
So the program is there. Once one signs up with us, we start off with a training session before we enroll them fully onto the platform and let them on their own.
All right. Have you noticed any patterns or challenges in having to implement these digital solutions across the different cooperatives that you've so far worked with?
Yes. Part of the other challenges that I would mention, there are quite many, but we also have just at the start that challenge of the acceptability.
Right.
We have a population that is so used to seeing the information in a book somewhere. Now telling them that now you need to move this information on a phone to the cloud, you get so many questions. Where is the cloud?
Where is the cloud?
It reminds me of the times when mobile money came in.
Right.
You find an old lady out there, she's used to seeing her cash notes. She touches them and she knows I have money. Now you're taking that away to tell her that your money is in a message on phone. You can imagine.
Drama.
Yeah, it's quite a huge challenge,
right,
but also a very interesting journey. I mean, it's interesting to watch an institution completely migrate. Sometimes it even takes a year to have them fully migrate, because we normally set aside like a month, but them fully throwing away the books, the papers, and moving digital, it's a process that the institution has to accept, the management of the circle has to buy into and start operating like that. But at the end of the day, many of them appreciate it because it makes it much easier, less bulky. They tend to get more office space, because imagine someone saving papers and books for the circle for 5 years,
yes,
it ends up being a pile.
Right.
But on the cloud, it's just on one machine, and even if a machine is stolen, tomorrow you buy another one, you still access it. So
yes,
yeah, it's an interesting journey, I want to say.
Beautiful story to witness, though. Yeah. I will come to you, Caroline, for you to share your challenges as well. Just paint a picture of what it was like when you are implementing or introducing the digital transformation and migration to your cooperative union. What challenges were faced?
Thank you so much. My challenge is similar to his, acceptability.
Right.
Even in teacher cooperatives, we are doing stakeholder engagement so that our rollout is seamless, right from the teacher, because now with our COP fund, we are telling them you must apply digitally. Use your phone to first of all validate and check whether you qualify. 2, stay in class. Now, they are already used to leaving class, going to the MFIs, going to the banks. So you find someone says, but I want to go to my bank. You say, no, use your phone. So acceptability is still one of our challenges. 2, for the cooperatives, as he has put it, majority still prefer having their files, physical files. So that migration from a physical file to a digital file is still a challenge in most of the cooperatives, but we are doing it dual. We encourage them to have both the digital files and the hard copy files. Thank you so much.
Right, now there is a comment coming through for you, Carol, and it's this is Okello Paul, who says Walimu has helped our teachers here in Lango region up to about 65%, and we are happy with Walimu and its management. And now we see a system, systems. What is the plan to teach us, the teachers, how to use these systems? Big ups to you, Walimu.
Oh, thank you so much, Okello. Currently, we have a program that is running across regions. We have already started in Ikumi district, where we are training stakeholders and onboarding teachers to access services using the digital platforms that the union has put across for the circles. For Lira, it is in early September. That's when we shall be in Lira, and we shall be training all stakeholders. All stakeholders, I mean the COW, the RDC, the LC5, the head teachers, including the teachers themselves. Being a government program, we needed to bring everyone on board to understand what we are doing, because our solution to our teachers is a one-stop solution. The teacher validates himself, the teacher asks for the loan using the gadget, and that is the phone.
Right.
Thereafter, the bank disburses, and the teacher gets a message without leaving the classroom. And that is the new solution we have brought. So, and we feel this solution, if rolled out successfully, will have a wider coverage, because teachers are across the country. We form 50% of the government payroll. Thank you so much.
Right. Now, somebody comes through. This is Isaac, and Derek, you had answered him. He had asked how you offer training and orientation, but he's also now asking for your contact. I believe that will be shared at the end of the show. But coming to you, Derek, how do you handle data privacy and cybersecurity? In this case, as you handle cooperatives through the digital migration?
Okay. With data privacy and then security, it's pretty much a wider topic, but it starts with most times with us, the users.
All right.
You see, for you to have your data secure, it's not just about the platform or on the cloud where it's stored. Of course, we use secure Amazon servers where we store that data, but you will find that most breaches start from the gadget, from the client, from the end user itself. So again, still during these sessions, we have part of our onboarding package or training package. We have a section where we just lecture them about data security and privacy, how do they set their passwords, how do you use your computer, because it's just about practice. You know, you leave your computer open, you walk out, it's not locked, someone can easily access it and access the customer's data. Now that's already a breach. Us as the service providers may not really do so much about that. Right. But what we have to do, what we're obliged to do, is to offer that sensitization right at the start on how do you set a secure password, how do you use your device, what happens when you, let's say, you lose your laptop or you lose your phone, what do you do next? It's just the same process as with the banks. You know, as you lose your ATM or you lose your laptop, you get in touch with the bank. But of course, lately we've set up the two-factor authentications, where it's not easy for any third party to access one's device when they are not in access with it. But also, us as the clients or as the end users, we also need a lot of sensitization, and we try to do that at the start, but it's a daily practice that, you know, someone has to live in. Yep.
Good morning, Uganda, and the guests in studio. This is James from Ginger. Do you also offer employment opportunities to those that have been trained? This is to you, Derek.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's a tricky one, but of course, with the employment opportunities, we are an African-based company, and we still employ Africans.
Right.
Whenever, as we expand, right now we're operating from the West in Mbarara and in Kampala, but as we expand, of course, we recruit, we advertise, and of course, work with the locals in those communities, because it makes it easier for us to penetrate those areas. Yes. But beyond that, I think the employment part sometimes happens so much at the cooperative, because we normally find a cooperative with already their staff. What we bring on board now is to equip them and make them more skilled, and often we offer even certificates when someone has used the platform for a longer time, and we assess and we see that they are comfortable with the platform. We offer them certificates that sometimes they can still even use in their future endeavors. So what we do mainly is to equip them with an extra skill that we found them when they are not tech savvy. They cannot use, they've never used the digital banking platform before, but now we equip them with that knowledge. We believe that helps someone, you know, move up in life and also find any other employment in any other institution. There are some I've personally trained before, I've worked with, and they have moved from cooperatives, from MFIs, and then they have crossed over to banks, because they captured some knowledge and they became pros at using these digital platforms.
Interesting. Yep. 0709602592. We are looking at a digital migration and innovation in cooperatives. As every Wednesday, we have conversations in the field of the cooperative movement. And I will come to you, Carol. What support do cooperatives need from the government and partners during the digital migration?
Thank you so much. With the experience I have, currently there is heavy lifting for cooperatives that is needed.
Right.
Government needs to inject in money, one, to first of all hire the experts like Wakandi to digitalize all the cooperatives, especially now that government has embraced PDM, Emyoga, they all need to go digital. For Walimu in specific, I want to utilize this to show you our self-service machine. Walimu has put 3 options for teachers. The first option, you use the link to log in and ensure that you get the service. The second option, you are helped using an app. But the third option needs a self-service machine. Now, these machines are quite expensive for our cooperatives, and yet they are the best because a teacher or a farmer or a cooperator just walks to their circle and gets the service on his own with a little help of the agent or the manager. So government needs to inject a lot of money in one, hiring tech companies to digitalize all cooperatives. 2, we need also help in the areas of internet. Running these tech apps needs a lot of internet. That means MTN needs to almost slice to 0 the cost of internet for cooperatives, just for maybe 10 years, the way government did when they were handling taxes.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Right. And let me just engage a couple of your comments. Good morning, Uganda. I do appreciate all the guests in the house for their efforts that they are putting into cooperatives. I do encourage the public to embrace cooperatives. This is Odara Vincent from Tororo. And thank you, Julie, for the program. This goes to Walimu Union. Carol, at first, like the law is teachers, I think you meant that Carol, at first, like the law is teachers' circles were registered on probation. And then later to union offered to register them, later to the union offered to register them permanently, but again, some were put to probation. Again, there is a circle that didn't get back the retrieved documents like certificate and bylaws. What are the chances to get them from the union for another trial? This is Nwakahuma Charles from Fort Portal. Carol, do you make sense of this question?
I can make sense of it. One, yes. Walimu does not register cooperatives.
Right.
It is the register of cooperatives. 2, a cooperative under provisional registration means it is on trial for 2 years. For it to go to the next stage of permanency, the registrar should be satisfied that it has fulfilled all the requirements to move to the next level. So it's not Walimu that registers, neither makes cooperatives probationary.
All right. Hopefully, Nwakahuma, you've been answered. You've got a bit of a picture from Carol's submission. Let's come to you, Derek. What is Wakandi's vision for the future of cooperatives in this digital transformation?
Yeah, our vision spans across Africa, and we envision a continent where we have all the customers, all the members to these cooperatives fully digitized, right, to the extent where they have access to all the financial services. We call it inclusion. And able, you see in Europe, you find that one does not need to bring collateral, does not need to carry so much to go access a loan. I'm happy that so many institutions now have picked up this practice. Even myself now, I can easily get a 2 million loan on my phone without walking to any institution, right, or to offer any documents. Now that only happens through digitization. And if you look at part of our challenges in Africa, if you span across even to the other countries, one of our challenges is the lack of access to finance. Look at a farmer out there, in the north or in the east. It's right now the planting season, they are not registered with any bank, but they need access to inputs. They need to buy items for them to plant. Now they've never registered with any bank. If at all they even go now, they would now require a lot of security for them to access a loan.
Right.
But imagine a situation where a farmer just pulls out their phone, even on their feature phone, dial *16 something, access their circle and be able to access a loan without necessarily providing any security or collateral. They would still be able to get what they need planned, and at the end of the day, the economy is improved. So that's what we envision at the end of the day, seeing an economy where everyone is included in the system and not any left out at any one point.
Right. Let's look at about maybe the next, 3 years, right?
Yep.
AI is a thing right now.
Yep.
AI, mobile wallets, blockchain.
Yep.
How do you think they could influence the cooperative movement in the next few years?
I think they are already influencing it a lot. Even when you get to the point of, let's say, I wrote a paper about credit scoring for Tier 4 institutions when I was doing my master's. So if you look at how we can use AI into that to, just simply credit score someone. Right now, if you don't have a financial card, you may not easily get your credit score, isn't it? You can't get your credit report.
Right.
But with this digitization, anyone out there could be able to access a financial report, and still that could be utilized. We could utilize AI to do that, skimming through that data and being able to produce a credit report for someone in just a few minutes. I think the future is just interesting for this sector, and yeah.
Right. But let's also look at the flip side of the coin when it comes to the conversation of AI.
Yep.
It's still a tough conversation, I must say, even with the younger generation.
Yep.
How much more would it be for a cooperative movement, of which it has, cooperative movements have a mixture of generations, the older and the younger. With the younger, maybe, but with the older, who you find are the people who are running these cooperatives. How easy will it be to convince them about AI running most of and it's where we are going. AI is taking over most of everything.
Yeah, well, most of the interesting things are never that easy.
Yeah.
For me, it's an exciting journey that I would look forward to. I mean, still back in the day, it was hard to convince my grandmother out there to, get a smartphone.
Right.
But right now, you still find them on Snapchat taking selfies, the elderly. So I see, of course, it will be a challenge at the start.
Right.
But most times, change is inevitable.
Right.
And if you embrace it with, of course, a lot of effort from us, the stakeholders, from institutions like Walimu, from UCA, from the other cooperatives, I think it's something that we can adopt, and we stand to benefit quite a lot from.
Right. Now let me engage a couple of the comments. Good morning, Uganda. I really appreciate what you people are doing. I wish everybody from Uganda would be like you. Thank you for that compliment. And you say thank you all. May God bless you. And your name is Isabella Hope Achola from Botaleja District, Busore Sub-County. And thank you so much, Isabella, for being on the show. Okay, Okello, you say your question, I think your question was answered by Caroline, and that what you had asked was the fact that actually you are giving a vote of thanks to Carol for the fact that Walimu has helped teachers. So yeah, I think you should send your question so that we are able to answer that. Now somebody else comes through and you send a voice note. We are unable to play voice notes, so please type it so that you are served better. Good morning, Julie. This is Emma Isaac. My question goes to Derek from Wakandi. Most cooperatives are willing to go digital, but the prices for these softwares are high. What strategies are they employing or putting in place to help cooperatives overcome the challenge of high software costs?
Yep, I was pretty much waiting for that.
Yes.
It's an interesting question. I would have been surprised if it was not raised.
I guess Carol will give us her experience on the cost side of things, but first tell us, yes. Yeah,
but at Wakandi, what we've tried to do is to partner with several other players on the market. Because if you look at, as a service provider, if we go out currently to market and we're trying to make profits of selling the product, it's impossible. We've tried it before. I've tried it with in other places. It has been impossible because the target population that we're looking at, the SACCOs, they are not, normally when you look at the SACCOs, they charge interest rates which are very minimal compared to the MFIs in the city centers, the money lenders. So the SACCOs barely have that much to invest into such platforms. Now, and these are our target audience that we want to serve at the end of the day. So what we've tried to capitalize on is to partner with other institutions like banks, like insurance companies, and other international companies, like you would mention any others that subsidize the cost for us, so that we are able to extend this service to this population at a much reduced cost. Because at the end of the day, once we digitize these institutions, the cooperatives, even the banks now benefit. Now they get to understand that, okay, there is that institution, they are now digital, so we are able to lend to them. So that's what we've tried to do, is to, through partnership, we've tried to just try and subsidize the cost to a much lower cost that even such institutions can afford.
Some of the partnerships you've had, has the government been a part of it, as well as regulatory bodies, you know, to just scale the digital adoption? Yeah,
we have an MOU with UCA, and we registered with all the others, AMFU. So those are the bodies from the government. But at the end of the day, for the insurance companies, because again, this is a population that they could reach out to and extend services to. But if they don't know about them, then it's hard for them to even reach out to them. So through such partnerships, we are able to extend even such services to them at a much reduced cost.
All right. Coming to you, Carol, what would you advise? What advice would you give cooperatives that are trying to engage into the digital transformation era?
My advice to cooperatives is to embrace partnerships. They need to partner. What I mean is cooperatives need to work with the big companies that are already making profits and have better platforms for them to fit in. Based on the first question that you asked, what about the cost? For us in Walimu, the cost has been subsidized. Our members do not pay for the platform that we have put. They only pay for their airtime and their internet services. So for us, we are a big partner to the teacher cooperatives. They do not pay, they only pay for their internet.
Right.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you for the program. I'm Philip Amanyire, watching live from Chibito, Bunyangabu. I just appreciate the program. Thank you so much, Philip, for being on the show. Good morning, cooperators. We are stressed with internet in rural areas. Anyway, how digitalizing could help reduce this challenge? How could digitalizing help reduce this challenge? This is Ntamshobora Emmanuel from Chendangara area, Cooperative Society, Chitagwenda District in Mahuro Town Council. And this is obviously yours, Derek.
Thank you. Well, the telecoms have tried their best to extend their signals to as far as they could. But for us, the service providers, the system service providers, we've taken this a step further. We understand that in some areas, internet is a challenge. That's why we've extended our platforms to even be usable on feature phones. There you don't need internet. It's USSD. Just the way you make a call, the way you use your mobile money, you can still do a deposit, you can still register with a SACCO, you can still make a withdrawal. So that's the other innovative idea that we came up with, to still extend services in areas where the internet is still a challenge.
Right. Good morning. My question goes to Walimu. How can you elaborate more on the security of the digital platforms? This is Lokwang Bernard from Kapedo, Karenga districts. Over to you, Carol.
Okay, thank you so much. As Walimu, we have partnered with Payroll Consults Africa to cover that risk, because we know our membership is wider and we needed a strong tech company that can absorb that risk. So that risk has already been catered for, and the company has already put in place all the safety measures that are needed.
Right.
Yeah?
Yes. Thank you so much. And another question that comes, actually this is more of a greeting. Praise King Jesus so much, and good morning all of you there. Good morning. Thank you so much for reaching out. Derek, if digitalization is a development and you target SACCOs,
Yep.
How do you classify that circles that you target? Can PDM and Emyoga circles qualify? Still, Nyakahuma Charles from Fort Portal.
Yeah, pretty much they all qualify. All Tier 4 institutions with Tier 4 and even beyond, sometimes Tier 3 as well. But Tier 4 institutions just include SACCOs and then cooperatives and MFIs. So PDM, Emyoga, they all fall under the same category. As long as they are reaching out to the communities, they are doing savings, they are doing loans, they are doing shares to the communities. That's all the population that we serve.
Right.
So.
About the cooperatives, I came in a little bit late, and I might have missed at the beginning, but I'm asking the question. It's quite simple. It's quite a simple one, but quite curious. Can you elaborate more about how they have, I think cooperatives have helped this country in the long run? That would be a question for Carol.
Thank you so much. I want to be specific to teacher cooperatives. One, we are trying to reduce absenteeism of teachers using the cooperative model. With the digitalization that we have embraced, teachers are able to concentrate in class and be served in their phones.
Right.
That is one. Two, teachers are setting up income generating activities besides teaching. This lowers the stress levels within them. But also we are also contributing to the economy. Soon we are going to begin value addition of our products, and that will attract in taxes and other sources of revenue for the government. And above all, we are contributing to food security. You know, food is key.
Right.
And since we are now going to work with OWC, our children will be able in future to eat well at school, at least have an egg and a cup of milk. So cooperatives are doing a lot besides what Walimu is doing.
Right.
Thank you.
Now, the final question will be coming to you, Derek. And it's interesting, is it possible to have cyberbullying in this system of the cooperative movement with digital migration?
Pretty much not possible at all. It's
Right.
not an open platform.
Right.
Each institution accesses its own data, so it's secure to its own, so there is no, not even a member to an institution can view the other person's statement or data, so there is no space for cyberbullying. It's just the same as the way you have a bank account. You can't know my bank balance and so as the other.
Right.
So you just access your account, make a deposit, a withdraw, and still just be able to access the services that you would access from a bank.
Right. Thank you so much for being on the show. I will come to Kirai Caroline Atai, who is the General Manager of the Walimu Cooperative Union, to give us her parting shots.
Thank you so much for, first of all, inviting me and Walimu in particular to this show.
Right.
I want to thank the government of Uganda for listening to the teachers and for appropriating funds whenever we need for our cooperatives. I want to thank all the key stakeholders in the digital world, especially Wakandi. They are doing a great job. I want to thank SACCONET. I want to thank NCBUCO, Payroll Consults Africa. But above all, there's a heavy lifting that has been done by MFIs under the umbrella of UCLA and UBA. Those are the banks. Banks, together with MFIs, have done a lot of heavy lifting for the cooperatives in Uganda. Most of the costs have been taken by the banks, especially those who do payroll lending. I want to thank public service and everyone who has been able to support the cooperatives. Thank you.
Right. And over to you, Derek Kalunda, the Operations Manager at Wakandi, Uganda. Your parting shots.
Yes, thank you. My parting shots to the public out there is pretty much to understand that digitization is no longer a luxury. The world has changed. There's a lot of evolving happening, and most times we look at it as a cost. But if you do a clear kind of breakdown, it's in most cases a saving. I've visited institutions and we've done mathematics at them to see how much they spend on their stationery, how much paper they buy a week, and how much they use on that vis-a-vis the cost of internet just for them to have their data saved in there. So in the long run, if we embrace it all together, it brings about a saving culture across board. And these benefits are not just to the institutions or the cooperative itself, but the benefits cut across even to the customers, to the members saving in these institutions. Imagine a situation where, let's say, you have to move 3, 5, 10 kilometers to access your cooperative's offices to do a saving or access a loan. You know, and one would tell you, okay, internet cost is high, or probably if I do it via mobile money. But the cost, you would probably spend about 10,000 Uganda shillings vis-a-vis doing that on your phone. So you have saved both time and money to access this institution. And again, you are served much faster.
Right.
Imagine the time you would spend in a queue lining up just to withdraw 50,000 shillings or 30. Yet you can still access this off your phone,
Right.
in your bed, or at the comfort of your workspace.
Right.
These people have businesses that they are doing. So at the end of the day, that's why I say that digitization is no longer a luxury, but it's the way to go for us to save and develop our economies and you know, get to that level that we want to get as a country and a continent at large. Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much, Derek, for coming through, as well as Carol. It's been such an informative conversation indeed. And I'm closing off with indeed your comments, just appreciating the show, very informative. Digitization is the way to go. Building the mindset of masses is key in its success. This is Kisinga Oriem Kitgum District. And one final one. Thank you for the show, Julie. This is Douglas, and you are watching from Wakiso. You say, I personally appreciate UBC TV for broadcasting the Chan tournament. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for being on the show. In a special way, we cannot not close this without giving a huge vote of thanks to the Uganda Cooperative Alliance, the host pulling this cut and bringing all of this information to you for you to unlearn, relearn, and learn as well. Good morning, Uganda. This is it from me. Robert Chirabo Nyonyitomono will be coming back with Good Morning Uganda Extra. For now, God bless you.
Live